So, welcome everyone to the Photovoice as a research tool discussion lead video. There are a few things that I will reflect upon today, practicing interpretations of images just to get different perspectives on what an image means, common threads between the readings, compelling aspects of each reading, and finally some comments about the discussion questions. So one of the toughest aspects of photo voice is analyzing the data to represent the voices of the marginalized or other participants and promote advocacy in the community. Then there are the ethical questions. We've discussed ethics already this semester, but I just want to give it a quick mention. Also, there's two photos here that I have a discussion question on. And I uploaded the photos into the memo so that you can see them more closely. So there's no discussion question on this photo, but I put this photo here because I like to capture images of small or microscopic flowers, basically flowers that no one ever notices. So there's one main reason that I think about right off the top of my head that I would like to do this. I'm trying to show that if you stop and look and investigate, you can find the real essence of something, the beauty that would usually go unnoticed. In Hergenrather's article, there's four main photo voice projects with participants who are dealing with living with HIV. They were asked to photograph their life experiences, attend group discussions, participate in community exhibits of their photos, and complete a follow-up interview. So they were asked to share and address their life experiences, like I said before, strengths and challenges through photos, and to brainstorm potential ideas for photographs and discuss the ethics of picture taking and consent for photos of other people. As I mentioned in the last video, since that is part of my positionality, I want to practice doing those things with these two photos, kind of brainstorming and talking about um, life experiences. So, thinking about the photo more profoundly, the image in many ways mirrors the experience of living with a stigmatized identity. The stigma often overshadows the individual, much like how the initial impression of the flower might be one of insignificance. Meeting new people or dating often involves a moment of disclosure for people living with HIV. It's a moment where they risk facing potential rejection, judgment, or preconceived notions that others might never encounter, so they don't know what it's like to feel that way. The reactions are often rooted in stereotypes and misinformation, preventing people from seeing them for who they are. This flower, when magnified, urges us to look beyond initial impressions and to recognize the value and beauty in what may initially be overlooked and misunderstood. This is kind of what I imagined attending a group discussion or a brainstorming session might be like. Ultimately, with Photo Voice, the researchers aim to provide participants with that magnifying glass through which they can present their true selves to the world. So I want to go back full circle to what I was talking about, but first I want to go through some common threads between the readings. And so there was the use of photo voice methodology to promote social change and empowerment, the importance of visual documentation of participants' experiences, and engaging in dialogue to enact community change. One of the core aspects was the elevation of marginalized voices and fostering critical discussions to influence policy. And back to the stigma of HIV, people coming together and voicing something that they normally wouldn't talk about is empowerment. It's also powerful and it can change people's minds and educate people. Also, I want to go over the readings a bit and bring that back to what I was talking about. In Wang and Burris, the description of photo voice as a process enables communities to identify, represent, and develop themselves through photography. And then in Hergenrather, the photo voice is a research methodology to identify and explore community health and disability priorities. And then the review supports further application of photo voice to facilitate community change. And that community change is evident when you start listening to people discussing the way that their situation makes them feel. And um, with Wang and Burris, it allowed people to develop themselves. When you're able to get in a group session and talk about those kind of things that you normally wouldn't ever feel comfortable enough talking about, that changes you, and that helps. Then with Brittany and McMorrow in chapter 1, Photovoice is not just a community-based participatory research method, but also a tool for social justice. It is deeply rooted in theories of empowerment and in Freire's concept of critical consciousness and also feminist theory. Those are both highlighted. And it reveals its commitment to empowerment, enabling reflection, and being an advocate for change. Then in chapter 3, they offer researchers like sample flowers and project management plans. It stresses the importance of participant recruitment, project management, and technological considerations. They also have new and experienced researchers are equipped with knowledge and design for implementing a Photovoice project. And then a case study showed that the recruitment process can be challenging. And so with social justice, HIV stigma might not be something that one would consider social justice because maybe there's no legal ramifications. But in my mind, changing people's ideas of stigmatization and the harm that the shame causes, to me, that's justice. So, in the discussion questions, I really want someone, or at least a couple of people, to answer one of the first two questions about the photos. I would really like to see how your interpretations are different than mine. So, I'm going to upload the photos by themselves so that you can see them more clearly in the memo.